It's time to get some
SportSense.
You're gonna get some
SportSense.
You better get ready for
SportSense. SportSense.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to SportSense. This is episode 43, and it's going to be kind of a unique one because we're about to start season 2 of SportSense when college football starts back up in a couple weeks. So what I thought would be fun is if I call back just a few friends that are available today as I am at my computer and just get some thoughts on some of their favorite sports moments from the past year, as well as what they're most looking forward to in the next year. Because fall, when football starts, as my dad has conveyed, that is the reset of sports. So with that in mind, get ready for a new sports year with us and go down memory lane a little bit with some of our previous guests from the podcast and one new one who hasn't been on before. So, okay, let's dive in. Thanks, everyone. Okay, so the first of our guests is Evan West, and Evan has not been on the podcast before. Evan, give a quick introduction of yourself, and then let's get into your favorite sports moment of the past year.
Yeah, thanks, Cooper. Hi, quick intro for me. I actually work in professional sports, obviously not as an athlete, let's be honest. I do stadium graphics and show opens that are played in stadium for the NFL, the NBA, MLS, NHL, and some MLB. That's the other league.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's a fun time, and it's cool to see my work on the big screen.
Yeah, you get to see it on like one of the biggest screens ever on Jumbotrons. But I guess you don't get to go. Do you get to go actually see much of your stuff in the wild?
Not a ton. Oh, I mean, we work with so many teams. I work at a studio called Triglass Productions in Minneapolis, and we work with so many teams that it just wouldn't be realistic to see all of our work. Sometimes we'll go out and see like one game a year, but I have yet to see my work on the big screen.
The actual.
Yeah.
You see it on the big screen, on the little screen when it gets reposted or whatever.
Yeah, like I've seen my work in the background on like Thursday Night Football.
Crazy.
But like that's kind of the extent. So I know it's there. And sometimes you'll be able to go on YouTube the day after the season opener or Twitter and look up like opening video for whatever team it was, and people will like record it and post it. So that's kind of cool.
So cool. Yeah. Dang. Okay, well, it's a shame we haven't had you on yet, but we will definitely get you on in season 2 for like an official episode. But for now, Evan, help us wrap up season 1, the very first year of SportSense. And there's still stuff that we missed. So I'm curious for you, what was your favorite moment if you have one?
Yeah, it's funny looking back on a year of sports because there's so many things that happen that I'll like forget about most of them. Where it's like, oh yeah, I forgot that they won the Super Bowl, or oh man, I forgot they were in the playoffs, or whatever. But one kind of event that I always get back to and remember at least parts of is the NCAA men's basketball tournament. And that was probably the most memorable point in my year of sports, specifically BYU playing the University of Wisconsin in the second round, and BYU won. It was a crazy game. It was like 91-89, really just high energy game. I got to watch with some friends and I was freaking out the whole game. I was jumping up and down and screaming all the time. And my friends had their kids over who are like early teenagers, and they weren't watching the game. They were just watching me react to the game. And usually I'm a pretty like emotionally well-regulated person. I mean, Cooper, you kind of know how I am in my normal day-to-day life.
Very stable.
Yeah, but when I'm watching certain sports, specifically BYU sports, I like all bets are off. I'm crazy. I am super emotional. I'm basically a different person. And I know that's pretty common for a lot of sports fans, but that's the context that I go crazy for. And it was a lot of fun. And I'm glad that BYU pulled out the win.
Incredible. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because I totally forgot that as well. That was the first time BYU made it to, did they make it to the Final 8 or just the Sweet 16? I can't remember.
Yeah, they made it to the Sweet 16. Okay. They played Alabama in the Sweet 16 and they lost. It was like 115-90 or somewhere in that range. Like really high scoring game. I mean, that game was less fun because BYU lost, but it was still like kind of an incredible offensive showcase.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's a great one to start us with. I know you got to go, so really quick, what are you looking forward to most in this next year?
Yeah, well, it's funny you should ask because in like 4 hours, the Salt Lake Shred, who are a professional men's ultimate Frisbee team, are playing the Oakland Spiders in the Western Conference Finals, and super niche sport that I know you haven't talked about on the podcast yet, but it's one that I really like and I'm very invested in. And they're playing the Western Conference Finals in 4 hours. and I'm super excited for that. But if they lose, my month will be ruined and it'll be a bad time. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking forward to the most right now.
Okay. Wait, so it's the end of the professional ultimate frisbee season right now?
Kind of. Well, so it's
Coming
like
to an end?
it's the Western Conference Finals, and whoever wins this game will go to the Final Four, which is going to be
Okay.
hosted in Madison, Wisconsin, and I'll be going out to that in a couple of weeks, and that'll be
Cool.
super fun. So I'm going to go regardless of who wins. Like if Salt Lake doesn't make it, I'm still going to go, but I
Okay.
would really love for Salt Lake to make it so that I have somebody to really cheer for.
Yeah, and you got the right shirt on for it today, but
There you go.
yeah, represent. Okay, well, we should talk even if they don't win, but yeah, since it's coming to the conclusion of the frisbee season, we should maybe or sorry, I don't know if that's, should I say the ultimate season? Is that the
You
proper
could.
thing?
So last season was the first season where the league was formally named the Ultimate Frisbee Association. Before
Okay.
that, they didn't have the rights to the name Frisbee because that's owned by Whammo, I believe. So for like 8 to 10 years, I forget exactly how long, but since the league's inception, they were the American Ultimate Disc League, which is a mouthful. And people are just like, what the heck? So now it's the UFA, the Ultimate Frisbee Association, which I think is
Okay.
much easier to stomach. So you can totally say Frisbee. Yeah, it's definitely allowed.
Cool. Okay. Well, yeah, we might have to have you back on soon, especially if the shred move forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need to talk about some frisbee. But in the meantime, Evan, thank you so much, and have a great 2025-2026 sports year.
Cool. Thanks.
And we'll talk soon.
High highs,
see
low
ya, Evan.
lows. See ya.
That's right. All right, see you, dude. Zach, welcome back to SportSense. It's been a while.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always good to be back. As your UFC expert, I'm always happy to talk about the UFC. It's the beauty of the sport. It's always going year round.
Well, yes, and I think you'll probably be the only one this episode to mention it. So I'm glad you're here. What is your top sports moment of the last year since college football started last year?
Yeah, since college football started, I'm going to be talking about a sports moment that I enjoy every time, but it comes from slightly before. It's early 2024, so it doesn't really fit the time frame, but I still want to talk about it. It's still my favorite sports moment.
That's
so
fair.
It's called the point down. And so I feel like I need to talk about the UFC, but obviously a lot of good moments in sports. But with the UFC, there was in the past year a very popular move called the point down, where a fighter would get in the middle and point down at the octagon, saying like, all right here, right now, let's do it. That all stemmed from UFC 300. So a little bit of context there. There was it being one of the big numbered pay-per-view events, 300. It was a big milestone for the company.
Oh,
so
does that mean
together,
it was their 300th, or sorry, 3 UFC event broadcast?
Yeah, essentially. But like pay-per-view broadcast. They call it a numbered event.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they have like other smaller events on almost every week, but it was a big milestone to be at. This is the UFC 300, and every 100 they've had big events, made a big spectacle out of it. And this one they had 2 fighters, Max Blessed Holloway and Justin the Human Highlight Reel Gaethje. And so these are 2 people, if you don't know anything about it, you just can tell by their names that they're warriors, and they are famous for just being absolute animals in the cage. And one of them, Max, he was moving from 145 to 155. And so he's moving up to Gaethje. So they've never fought, but they've fought some of the same people. They've run in the same circles. And so this was a big...
In weight, he put on enough weight to be able to fight this guy.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And so before he would fight at like the 145 pounds, that's where he'd weigh in.
Okay.
And now he just got bigger. And so now he's fighting at 155.
Okay.
And so, sorry. I know there's a lot of UFC lingo I keep throwing out there. So there was a lot of questions like who's going to win this? Who's going to be better? The Vegas had it roughly split, if I remember correctly. All the fans were saying Gaethje was going to win. All the fighters were saying Max is going to win. Very split. All anyone talked about for a couple months. They get in the ring, and it's a war. It's everything we expected. Max broke Justin's nose in the first round, and so he had an edge the whole fight. They both were fighting their heart out. And this was a 5-round event, And so it was 5 5-minute rounds. And so they're going basically full sprint for 25 minutes until the fight ends. Like watching it, there's 3 judges that judge and decide who wins if at the end of the fight no one has been knocked out or submitted. And so going into the 5th round, as a fan, you're looking at this and saying, okay, this has been good. Max has won. He's won a majority of the rounds. So no matter what, as long as he survives this round, he wins and he's the champion.
Okay.
And Vegas knew that, but they still kept the odds kind of close because Justin's dangerous. So Gaethje could knock him out at any point. It got to at the very end of the round. So we're now 4 minutes and 50 seconds through the 5th round. There's 10 seconds left in the fight. A fighter generally will kind of dance around, avoid conflict because they won the fight. There's no question. They've become the champion. But Max is different. He was doing this for the fans. So he stands in the middle of the ring and points down and basically says, no matter what happened the past 24 minutes, we settle this here and now.
Dang,
and so they just went at it and started swinging. And there's reaction videos to it. It's crazy. And then with 1 second left, Max clips Gaethje and knocks him clean out.
Shoot.
And so it was that was kind of the background. That was the greatest moment, in my opinion, in the UFC.
A KO with 1 second to go.
KO with 1 second to go. They had the replay show, and you can see the clock in the background counting down, and then with 1 second left.
That's crazy. Okay. That is a really amazing moment, even though it doesn't totally fit into our calendar year. That was worth going through, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the background of it. So then that carried throughout the rest of the year. And so anytime fighters would want the spectacle or they want to do it, they'd point to the ground and say, all right, this is it right here. And Max actually fought defending his belt a couple weeks ago against someone that Gaethje had beaten, but someone that had beaten Max twice before. Yeah. His name is Dustin Diamond Poirier. And last 10 seconds, Max did the same thing.
No way.
Pointed to the ground. He said, right here. And so,
geez, okay, that's sweet.
And so everyone asked him, like, why do you do this? It's for the fans. He's not fighting a fight to win. He's fighting to give the fans a show.
Okay. Is this so? Yeah, I'm surprised. I don't think we talked about this when you came on for our UFC episode a month ago or so.
There's just too much to talk about. We ran out of time.
Well, this guy kind of sounds like. Tell me his name again. Max Gaethje.
Max
is that
Holloway?
The other guy we talked about was Gaethje, yeah.
Justin Gaethje, yeah.
Okay, so Max Holloway. He sounds kind of like the showman that the UFC's been needing since Conor McGregor. Would you say he's kind of that guy?
Yeah, I mean, Conor was something else. Max is more of like the good guy. He wants to give back to the fans. He lives a wonderful life. His nickname's Blessed. And so he spends all his time when he's not training, like doing philanthropy work and giving back to the community.
Wow.
Like he's just a good guy.
Okay. Interesting.
So
he just doesn't have that same energy. He's like, he draws fans, but it's not the same as that.
Exactly. So when he fought a couple weeks ago against Dustin Poirier, he just said, I'm looking forward to a war. Like that's it. Whereas Conor McGregor, he would get under people's skin. He would trash talk them.
Get personal.
He'd get personal. But again, it was all kind of showman because after the fact, he would then have the moment with his competitor and be like, hey, great fight. We did it. Like he talked it up. They made the money and it worked. I think he was one of the highest paid UFC fighters in history.
Okay, cool. Well, shoot, I guess I got to become a Max Holloway fan now. Max the Blessed. Okay, thanks for indulging me for a few extra minutes of UFC stuff, but let's get into the future. So what are you looking forward to the most in the next year?
I'd say there's a couple things. I mean, the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is rooting for our parlay that your dad gave me. So, we have money out on the World Series, the NBA championship, the Super Bowl, and the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
So
just appearances, right? Just who's going to appear.
That's it. As long as they appear. I mean, the first up is the World Series, so I've kind of kept my eye on baseball. I've been rooting for the Dodgers and the Tigers a little bit more than I otherwise would have, steering clear of my Yankees and Texans.
Yeah,
but
sure.
So that's the first thing I'm looking forward to because we have the World Series coming up.
So if that falls apart, our whole parlay is
it's toast.
It's dead in the water, right?
Yeah. If one team doesn't, I mean, that's why we got the odds. If one team doesn't make it, then we don't get
That's why we're gonna make K if everything hits. Okay.
Yeah, DraftKings isn't giving me that level of money for $1. without
Right. Yeah, I forgot that was
the
all just
proper
based on
risk
a dollar
attention.
too. Crazy. Okay, cool. Well, yeah.
And
What else?
then the next is the Super Bowl, right? Because the big thing is we picked Buffalo and Commanders to appear in the Super Bowl. Buffalo, I love. Big fan of Josh Allen. Big fan of the team. They've been shut out by the Chiefs the past couple of years, and so really hoping that they pull through. What I am concerned is right now there's a show Hard Knocks on HBO where it's featuring the Buffalo training camp. It's a good
Okay,
show.
cool.
It's entertaining, but there's a curse. No team that appears on Hard Knocks then goes and appears on the Super Bowl. So
Have there been a
curse
lot of
is not
teams?
working in our favor.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, how long has that show been going? It's been on my Apple TV recently, but
20-something seasons.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, so
I'm
that's
pretty sure it's been around for a while.
that is a serious curse then. If for that many seasons, none of the teams
Yeah.
have made it to the Super Bowl that year.
Hold on, I have the list right here. Maybe. Never mind. I don't have it offhand.
All good. Well, that's hilarious. Okay, well, good. Shoot. Well, that curse does not bode well for our bet. But okay, so
Yeah.
we've got. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that as soon as I saw that curse, I didn't know it existed until I saw it on Instagram. So yeah, I think that might be a dollar loss.
Yeah, I think in Josh Allen, yeah, my dad, he won. He basically sold me on him as a quarterback a few months ago when we talked about him last. But then since then, he's married. What's her name? Haley Steinfeld, right?
Yeah,
And
some actress.
Once you're that first year at least of marriage, he's gonna be way too distracted. I don't think his head's gonna be in the game enough. So we'll have to see.
I think
how
he
he
dated
does.
her long enough to where it shouldn't be much of a distraction. They got married in May. I don't know. Maybe DraftKings knew this. That's why we got 300,000 to 1 odds.
Right. Well, we'll see, but that's my theory. So if we lose $1, I'll Venmo you for my half. Okay,
It's
so
all me.
we don't have to go. We'll save the rest of the teams for later, but yeah, we got World Series, Super Bowl, and then NHL playoffs and NBA playoffs. Right? That's everything we have a bet on.
Yeah, the four majors. If we make it past the Super Bowl, then we can come back on and strategize and talk about it.
Exactly. Okay, sweet. Well, thanks for walking us through all that. Do you have any last words before we get to season 2?
No, just thanks for having me on the pod. I look forward to coming back and talking a little bit more about the parlay or UFC or sports in general.
Heck yeah, dude. All right. Well, for now, sayonara, and on to our next guest. All right.
Sounds good.
See you,
Thanks,
Zach.
Cooper.
Welcome back to podcast. Welcome to podcast, Casey.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a new concept.
Welcome back, Casey. You haven't been here since Christmas time so let me reintroduce you to everybody. This is my brother Casey Epps. So of course we had to get some blood in this episode, some real kin. So thank you, Casey. Let's jump into it. Okay, tell us about what your favorite sports moment of the last year was.
Yeah, so I've got a couple. Most of the sports I watch are, as a fan, so like Panthers, Hurricanes, right? So the two that I do really have are, one is the Panthers and the Falcons in Week 18. Panthers just came out and kind of crushed it. Bryce Young threw incredibly, I think for 3 or 4 touchdowns, and I think it ended in an overtime win with Sanders just going for a little 1-yard run, but it was just, it was so nice to see. We had such a rough year, and we had like 2 rough years before that, plus, however many the Panthers have had in my lifetime.
Yeah, so, you haven't been blessed with the best teams to be a fan of in your lifetime.
No, definitely not. I mean, yeah, NC State, the Hurricanes were, they won the 2007 Stanley Cup, and then they struggled except for the past like 4 years. So that's been really nice. People just think I'm a bandwagoner now for the Hurricanes, though. I'm not, I promise.
Really? Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'll tell them I'm a fan, and then they're like, oh, it's just because they got good. No, I swear, everybody.
I was gonna say, wouldn't people in Georgia be Carolina fans? Because that's the closest. Maybe Florida's the closest NHL team to them.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think we're 4 hours away from.
Who has more which team has more fans out there in Georgia?
I'll be honest. A lot of people in Georgia here don't watch hockey.
It's just just a non.
It's just
moot
kind of a
point.
non-starter here. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Oh, there
which
you go.
is
The non-starter is
unfortunate.
the
But
word I was looking for.
yeah,
Well, that makes sense, honestly. I mean, and they've got such rich like football and I guess
it's
basketball too.
football.
That's like, who cares? Yeah.
Yeah, mainly football here for sure. Being a Panthers fan here is rough. Yeah, but that's why again, week 18 last year. Oh, it was so nice, right? I was here for it because it was in January, and
Oh, nice.
yeah, people
Okay.
hated me. I wore my Panthers hoodie every day to work. People,
Really?
everyone here is a Falcons fan, right? Yeah, so yeah,
Oh, I was
it was
asking for
nice.
trouble.
Oh
I was
yeah, I
asking. That's
wanted it.
asking for a fight in the street on the way to work.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Amazing.
But
Well,
yeah.
good for the Panthers. And I'm guessing part of what you're most excited about this next year has to do with them, or is it something
Yes,
else?
it does. Yeah, it has to do well, again, 2 things. So, because I got another
Oh,
moment
yeah,
from
from
last year,
last year.
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess technically this year, but it was the Canes and the Capitals in the playoffs. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, beautiful. Game 1, Slavin with the overtime win, the goal, just gorgeous,
Mm.
right? And then game 3, Anderson shut them down. Just I think they had, 24 shots on net, the Capitals did. Anderson just stopped every single one of them.
Wow.
Yeah. They had
I
Anderson and,
forgot about that.
Kochetkov. Yeah, they had, like, the highest rated, percentage of saves in the playoffs, until the Canes
Wow.
got kicked out. Yeah, I think they were, like a 96% save rate, so they were nuts. But
Holy
anyways,
cow.
and then yeah, they ended that series in 5, and it was just it was beautiful. Yeah. But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Wow.
so both
Well, that's a
things.
great one to reminisce on.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I'll think about that for a while, especially versus the Capital. They're kind of like our little rivals. So yeah,
Right.
so I
Next
enjoyed
door
that.
rivals,
But
yeah.
yeah,
And
so yeah,
Ovechkin had just beaten the record for highest goals ever in a highest career goal record in the NHL that
oh
season. So that
yeah.
was pretty cool for us to take him down in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, see, and I respect Ovechkin, and I thought that was really cool that he did that this season. But no, it was still, yeah, as a Canes fan, it was just so nice to see him kind of get put
Yeah.
down. But yeah, so for next year, I guess what I'm really excited about is one, I want to see the Panthers go out, and I mean, I don't expect them to do better than being like a mid team. But if I go out and we see him win 8 games, I'll be just so happy. But I think Bryce has really found a mojo and a groove, and he'll go out, and I think he's got some good weapons on the field. We got Adam Thielen for another year, who just crushed it last year.
What does
I
he
mean,
play?
he's a wide receiver, so he used to be on the
Okay.
Vikings. Yeah, he was
Okay.
never. I mean, he was always good, but I don't know why he just kind of had a breakout year again last year with the Panthers. And so I'm
Cool.
excited to kind of see him and Bryce Young again, as well as Coker and Leggett, kind of just be some more weapons
Coker.
on the field for him. Yeah, Coker. Yeah, Jalen Coker. Yeah, they're
Great
all
name.
pretty. Other than Thielen, who's a veteran, the others are pretty new to the league still, probably a few years in, and they're just they're
Mm.
fantastic. So excited to see all
So
of
you
them
think
play.
so you think the Panthers have like the talent that they need to be good? And it's just a matter of like getting some experience and some practice in, or what?
Right now, yeah, I think one of the main improvements they could make is maybe their O line, and defense. Obviously, I think we were rated like worst last year, unfortunately, but yeah, but they made some good pickups in the off season. I believe we grabbed a defensive end. I can't remember names right now, but a defensive end. I know we just grabbed a linebacker, someone who had a little more
Yeah,
experience. So I think we had some good pickups in the draft and during the off season for defense. So we'll see. I think it should just all
crazy.
come together this season, but I think every piece for offense is there, and I think Bryce Young is ready to kind of come out and play pretty hard. So I'm excited.
Cool. Okay. Well, that's it's nice to hear a hopeful, optimistic take on the Panthers. I haven't. Are they
You
in the
have to be.
conversation at all? Like nationally, do people talk about them or think about them, or are they just kind of like, oh, you guys are cute. We'll see you in a few years if maybe you kind of get good eventually.
Uh,
Or
in
or
recent
or are people or do are commentators kind of thinking that they might break out this year?
No, no. So I think everyone's still kind of thinking they're in the developmental stages, which technically they are, but I think we're just going to see a little more, especially from a fan standpoint. We're going to see a little better performance from them this year. in each game.
Cool.
Like I said, yeah, Bryce Young. I mean, Bryce Young he's been the talk of some analysts for, I don't know, past few years, but only because the Panthers invested so much in him, and then he, flopped for the first few years. But he had to develop, So now that he's there, I think he might show up and really lead the team to something better than they've been.
Interesting. Is there any relation to Steve Young,
And then,
or is it just a random Young? Okay.
yeah, different Young, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, very cool. Well, thanks for the niche Carolina fandom moments. I think that's great. I think a lot of our people listening are some of our North Carolina friends and family. So
nice.
Yeah, shout out to the Hurricanes and the Panthers. Hopefully, we get two great teams to root for. And I guess we won't even. I don't know if there will ever be reason to talk about the Charlotte Hornets, but I hope they give us reason to, and eventually.
I hope so.
No point in my life, I don't think they've been good, and I'm 31.
No,
which is crazy.
I mean, and you don't. Again, I mean, you're talking about having anyone on ESPN talk about teams, right? Yeah, the Charlotte Hornets are just never up there. They're definitely like. They're like, oh, the Spurs played the Hornets and the Spurs did great, but you don't hear anything about the Hornets, right? Yeah.
They're just a cute little like hurdle to jump over real quick on the way to, victory elsewhere.
Right now, yeah, unfortunately.
Crazy. All right. Well, thank you, Casey. And I guess with that, we're going to move on to our next guest. So we'll see you again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me.
All right. See you, bro.
Bye.
Okay, Chris, welcome back to SportSense. Let's talk about your favorite sports moment of the last year.
Yeah, so I've thought about this, and I definitely know my favorite moment. BYU was playing Oklahoma State. Your dad and I were staying in a really nasty hotel that smelled really bad, like cigarettes. And we were there because we were doing hurricane cleanup, right?
Oh,
and we
right.
we worked our tails off like all day, knowing that we were going to stay up until like 1:00 in the morning to watch this game because it was like dark. And because ESPN, they know that BYU is going to draw a crowd even late at night, and so they can make more money if they get a good draw later.
I see.
But that's got to be why BYU's always has the late games. Anyway, BYU came back to win it on an amazing catch by Darius Lassiter right at the end, like broke 3 tackles, goes into the end zone. And we're, like I said, we're in this dank, nasty motel room, and they score to win the game. And I'm like yelling, and your dad's like, because I mean, we got people all around us, paper thin walls and stuff like that. And just after, just a long day, that was my favorite memory of last season was that catch to beat Oklahoma State.
We definitely have a BYU bias on this podcast, so I think that's a great memory to bring back, but everything's about to just reset. So what are you most excited for in this next year of sports?
I was really looking forward to the Los Angeles Chargers season. And then
you were?
I was. I mean, I still am. Honestly, I still am. I'm going to root for them and cheer for them and watch their games no matter what. But they just re-signed their starting left tackle to this, big deal. So he's going to stay with the team for a long time. It's like this. He was making more than any other lineman in the NFL, right? A week later, he has a knee injury. He's out the rest of the season.
No way. That
right?
bad?
And starting left tackle, like the left tackle, I mean, you've seen The Blind Side, right? Like the whole movie talks about how important the left tackle to cover the blind side of your quarterback. And that's what this guy does. But he's also like a road grader. He's just huge. And so, Jim Harbaugh, it's his second season there in Los Angeles. And we were really looking forward to like running the ball. We had a new running back that we got from UNC, Omarion Hampton. We got Najee Harris back in California. He's a California native, playing in his home state. And then we lose him. And I think we'll be okay. We've got other guys. We got Trey Pipkins, who's been there his whole career. Like I think he's been with the Chargers for 8 seasons. His whole career has been with the Chargers. But he's a serviceable backup. But we're going to need him the whole season. So
So he better not hurt his knee. Okay, shoot. So can really that one position make the difference between a winning season and a not so winning season?
I mean, so think about it like this, right, Coop? So the season starts in a couple weeks, right? We've already started games, like preseason games, in practices. So any offensive linemen that are on the market right now, like they're not going to be, they're typically going to be the guys that are your backups that are filling holes right now. And so we're not going to go find another guy that's that same guy's level. We're going to go find a guy that's maybe on the tail end of his career, or a guy that's just been a journeyman, right? He signs 1-year contracts, goes to another team kind of thing. We're not going to find like an all-star or pro bowler, like they say in football, to fill that hole. And so it can be like, at this point, it can be. So.
Okay. Interesting. Well, so you were excited. Is there anything else? Are the Chargers your only team, or is there, or
in the
even
NFL?
beyond?
Yes, that's my only team, man. If as far as college football goes, BYU, obviously, I'm super excited to go see BYU basketball. We've got a couple games that should be within driving distance of us that I'm
cool
of them to go see the team play.
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing Carolina in Salt Lake.
No way.
They're playing up in Madison Square Garden. They've got
cool.
This one player, like, granted, there's more than just one player that brought, that's on the team, right? Like, they're going to be a team. But it's funny, this one player, AJ Devanza, has brought so much spotlight to BYU that they're getting these great opportunities to play in tournaments that they wouldn't normally get a chance to play in.
Okay.
And then playing teams that they, like, when you get an opportunity to play a blue blood, even Carolina on a down year, still a blue blood, right? And you still take the opportunity to play Carolina.
Is a blue blood like a legacy, like always like a really great basketball team? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. And it's like the blue bloods, you've got Kentucky, Carolina. Some people will want to throw UConn in there now. Duke is up there, but Duke came on like Kentucky, Carolina, and I'm missing one, UCLA, right? You had those, and then Duke came on in like the late 80s, 90s, and then just dominated for so long. They're definitely considered a blue blood now, even though, how I feel about Duke. UConn's been good, but they,
Are you gonna be conflicted who to root for when it comes to UNC versus BYU? No. BYU all the way?
Yeah, BYU.
Wow. Okay.
Like and yes, Cooper, we tell our kids this. They can cheer for whoever they want. We just know that in our house, first and foremost, we cheer for BYU.
Okay.
Because
wow.
not just because the mission of what their sports teams is a lot higher, and you can cut this part out, right? But is a lot higher than other teams. Like the reason that BYU has sports is to promote the spreading of the gospel, right? But also, we're BYU fans first. Like, we went to BYU, you were raised, we like NC State, but BYU, right?
Yeah, basically. I
but
feel
also,
like,
the other thing that I say is that BYU has a better chance of making a lot more noise this year than Carolina does.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So I would rather BYU beat Carolina, kill Carolina, and like have it just make them even bigger. Like, because if Carolina beats BYU, it's not that big of a deal, right?
Yeah.
But BYU beats Carolina the other way around, that's a big deal.
Okay. Cool. And that'll be in Salt Lake. So shoot, I bet tickets have already sold out probably, but I'll check on that and see if I can get there.
If you want to go do some fun reading, go look up the drama for BYU season ticket holders trying to get season tickets to BYU basketball in the Marriott Center.
Oh, what's going on? Here, give us the quick elevator pitch.
It's impossible. People who have had season tickets their entire life now are basically getting pushed out because they're not, like, people are paying insane amounts of money to, like, what normal, like at a blue blood school, if you're at Kentucky, Carolina, UCLA, Duke, like, you're used, like, if you want courtside season tickets, you're used to paying a premium for that. BYU's not, right? And so some of those dudes who have been like, they're getting season tickets and being able to be in the upper bowl, right? They can't get tickets anymore because they're not at the right tier. And so the tickets were already sold out before it got to their turn to purchase them.
Crazy. So my in-laws always get season tickets to BYU basketball. So I'll have to ask them if they've run into that or if they just tried to beat out the bidder, the next bidder or whatever.
Yeah, it all depends on the tier that you're at. There's multiple tiers, right? And so if you're at the wrong tier and tickets have already sold out by the time it gets to your tier, you're out of luck.
Sounds like people have been shedding tears over this. Am I right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Dad now. I had to throw a little dad joke in there for you. Okay, cool. Well, great. It sounds like it's going to be an exciting year for at least a couple teams that we're fans of here on the podcast. So
Hopefully,
all
I can
right.
go watch a game with you when you come out here in August.
I know that'd be so fun. All right. Well, thanks, Chris, and we'll see you next time.
All right, buddy. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
And next up on the horn, we have another brother, Keaton Epps. Welcome back, Keaton.
Thanks for having me. It's been a while.
It has been a while. I don't know why. I guess because you're so busy with raising
I
multiple
don't think
children.
I mean, that does keep me busy, but usually you have to be asked to be on the podcast. So I think that's mostly what's kept me from being on.
Whoa. Hey, well, we've been out of football season for a while, so that's part of it, honestly.
That's
I think
true.
that is.
No, it's okay.
So, Keaton, go ahead. Tell us about your favorite moment from sports or sports culture in the last year.
Okay. One, I had a few I was
Okay.
thinking of, racking my brain up. But one that immediately came to mind that I just thought was so cool and I resonate with is in the Olympics was the Turkish shooter. You had all these cyborgs coming out with every kind of tech and gear and hip bend shot, and he came out. It looked like they pulled him from the stands and walked down. They put a hand in a pocket and just silver medaled it and got out of there. So I don't know. I like that nonchalantness. Obviously, he's trained and worked hard and been there before, but I think there is a lot of fluff in sports and a lot of equipment that's not needed, and that was really cool. That was my favorite part of the Olympics.
Yeah. They need to make a movie about him. There's got to be one of the works because that was like incredible.
It's interesting.
While we're talking about that, because now you're jogging my memory, I'm going to throw one in the mix of Ray Gunn, the break dancer.
Yeah, I don't know who vetted or how that happened, but they should make a comedy like an Adam Sandler, some slapstick comedy on that. How that happened.
It seems like it's almost like Cool Runnings, but without the inspirational part. Just like
work, yeah. She's South African or Australian because she didn't really work right at it, or
I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
I thought she just somehow slipped through the cracks and got on, and then like she had tricked people into thinking she was good at that.
Yeah. I got to go back and do some digging on that. But anyways, okay, yeah, the Olympics were awesome. But okay, yeah, what else did you have?
Scotty Scheffler in golf. I grew up watching Tiger Woods, and I thought he was just so captivating and so dominant. Never thought anybody would challenge him. And Scotty's got a long, long way to go to do that. But he put a significant dent in it this year, and he's been dominant in golf both last year and this year, and that's been pretty impressive and cool to watch. I didn't think I'd see somebody I thought there would be a lot more parity, and he's just dominated. It was awesome him going to jail and then coming out and kicking butt that first day and just a few hours out of a jail cell and mugshot and all that. And he's another one, kind of like the Turkish shooter. He's just like, golf's not the most important thing to me, and goes and still works hard, puts in the work, grinds. But he's like, there's a lot more in life. Golf's just a thing in my life. And I've seen the memes out there like how demoralizing this must be to the rest of the PGA Tour coming in behind him. Yeah. It is their life, you know?
Yeah. It's right. It's frustrating when you're up against someone. It's like when you're taking you're frozen, by the way. Can you hear me? Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah, but it's like if your friend in class didn't study at all and they aced the test and you studied so hard and got an 80, it's like so frustrating.
I think he's put in the prep and the legwork, but he just does. I don't think he truly cares if he comes in first. I mean, he's competitive, but first
it's probably that added. Yeah, it's probably that attitude that helps people win too. Like, at least in my job, it's like the more that we treat it like play or just exploration and discovery, the more successful we are in coming up with like unique ideas or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure it's similar, at least in some sports, where the more relaxed you are, I think it's especially true in golf. The more relaxed you are, the less you overthink a thing. It's like the more you can just trust the club in this instance.
I'm not sure what puts it. Everybody has their different minds, mental space. And because Tiger he was kind of like Michael Jordan and Kobe, just that dialed in. If you get in my way, I'll hit you with a club. Like, do not focus on this. I'm not going to talk to anyone else. Like, this is my world the next however many months, And so
Okay,
he's different, but yeah, there's all types, and there's been like that. That's why I think sports. That's one of the great things about sports is it takes all types, and there's some guys in locker rooms that just don't take a thing serious, and everything the coach says is a joke, and they're great for if they try hard and they practice hard. They're great for locker room morale, and even the coaches usually fall in love with them. And there's guys that can make the coaches crack up, and yeah, there's all different types, and then there's the guy that never laughs and is just dialed and focused. This is my job. This is my life. I'm going to be the best. And
yeah.
it's cool to see those
Interesting.
different personalities. So speaking of that, was another favorite from this year. Just happened really recently. This is the last one I'll share with you, but then this goes along in that same vein. So I just like the nonchalantness of some of these people. Do you know? I'm going to butcher his name, but Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, he's an NBA player, right?
Yes, for the Nuggets, and
Yeah.
he just acts like it's an absolute chore to play in the NBA. Like he's just like, oh my god, like he's just so bothered by it being there. And
Really?
and he's incredible. He's done it for so long now. It's not as people don't really care because he averages a triple double, which is a triple double. You have to get past 10 in certain stats, and those are assists, points, rebounds, blocks, steals.
Double-digit numbers in 3 different categories.
3 of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're in double. Yeah. So that's a triple double. He's averaged that. Like the first time he averaged it, it was incredible. The only other person that really do it recently was Russell Westbrook. And everybody was just like, oh my gosh, this is generational. It's not going to happen again. And he does it he's done it the last several seasons. And they gave him the MVP the first time. And he's been having like better and better years, and they just don't give him the MVP anymore because he's had it so many times, and they're so used to it. But so he's incredible. He's an incredible talent, skill, great. But they won a championship a couple of years ago. He showed a little fire this year, but I feel like he doesn't care if they win or lose at all. Like he just goes out, plays hard, is bothered that people ask him questions in the media and the interview, and then gets out. He's like, I just want to go home. I think he's Serbian. But what he really cares about are his horses, and he just wants to go home and be with his horses. That's what he always says.
Wow.
Like, I can't wait till the season's
Crazy.
done. And so he doesn't show much emotion, even when they won the championship. It was just like, yeah, what do you think about this? He's like, I get to go home, so I'm excited. But what he just showed emotion about, and I don't know what in Serbia, how this compares to the Kentucky Derby or whatever, but one of his horses won a race. And it showed him walking down on the track, and he's crying, and he's so emotional. And so, like, yeah, and he doesn't give any emotion in NBA. And so that was a cool moment. And then I just like those oddities in sports and those people you can't really figure out, and he's one of them.
Right. What the heck? Okay. Well, Dad hasn't brought him up at all. Of course, Dad doesn't keep up with the NBA very much, but
yeah, I don't much either. But there's a few I really like, and I love him because he's so different. Yeah, it just doesn't. Like I said, it's like a chore, and he's bothered to be in the NBA. He's like, this is just terrible, and it's what it seems like to him.
that's crazy. I guess when you're so good at a thing, it's like it can get boring if you just keep doing it. Yeah. So,
yeah, I guess so.
Well, okay. Finish us off and tell us what we can look forward to or what we need to start mentally preparing for in this next year of sport.
I didn't mention, it's probably my favorite. I didn't mention any college football, and I love college football. And the landscape has tilted and changed so much the last couple of years. It's hardly recognizable. And I think they're doing a decent job of reining in the craziness of it all. But the playoff, it's been better and better, and I think it'll be better this year. Last year, there were automatic bids and automatic buys if you won your conference. And I believe this year they're not awarding that. It's just going to be off of. So if they determine the 4 best teams in the country are in one conference, they get the 4 buys. Or I'm pretty sure that's happening this year. I don't know if it's this year or next year, but I'm pretty sure. And that should be really exciting. And I think that should make for a more competitive college football playoff, which it was already great, but there were some blowouts and some home field advantages that shouldn't have been. And I think that will help improve the playoff. I'm really excited for NC State basketball. This is a homer thing, but we had the magical Final Four run a couple of years ago, but we knew what that was. We knew the coach was about to get fired. He fell in backwards into the Final Four. I think he's a good coach, but just incredible series of events that happened for him to get in the Final Four. I think they really finally, and so then they let him go this year after a terrible year. So Final Four year, terrible year this year, let him go, which was the plan 2 years ago, but then they got to the Final Four somehow. But this new coach, Wade, that they brought in, he went on a decently deep run, Sweet 16, or maybe they lost at 32 in the NCAA or March Madness this last year with McNeese State. Have you ever heard of McNeese State?
Maybe once. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, and before that, he was at LSU, and he got fired there because of some sanctions for recruiting.
Yeah, that kind of
A
stuff.
little bit of cheating, doing things recruiting wise you can't do. And I feel like those guys are the best guys. And so I think he's going to come and he got some great recruits already at NC State. The ones that like toe the line almost.
Yeah, he's
cheat a
got
little bit.
he's got some edge to him.
Yeah, and so he got blackballed a little bit and blacklisted, and he ended up in a really small program and took them really far into in March Madness.
Cool.
And I think he's going
Okay.
to turn NC State around, and he's already calling out UNC and starting fights and that. So
Cool. Okay.
he's going to bring some edge. So those are a couple things I'm excited for. NFL, I think will be it. I think they put on the best show in sports as an organization, and I think it's going to be
NFL?
another great
Really?
year. Yes, I think that.
Oh wow.
They make so much money. They're a great organization. They keep everybody captivated. They're going to different countries, getting them involved, and they've just year upon year have increased their profit and revenue. I think they put on I think they're the best organization in sports, and they're going to have another great year.
Cool. Wow. Yeah, it's funny. I just always thought you were more of a college football guy. I didn't know you thought so. You regarded the NFL so highly.
I like the NFL. My team just sucks. So
Yeah,
the
Casey.
Panthers, but
Casey was on here earlier talking about that as well. So
he says be okay. Dece this year, maybe.
Yeah, it sounds like they might be middle of the pack this year, which would be good.
Maybe.
All right.
Maybe 8 wins, but
Yeah. That's exactly what Casey said.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. You pointed out some great characters. I keep trying to help us keep track on the podcast of like our main characters. So we talk a lot about Coach Prime, Scotty Scheffler. Now we'll have to add Nikolai Jokic.
Nikola Jokic. Yeah, Nikola Jokic.
Nicole Jokic.
Joker. That's his nickname. They call him the Joker. So
cool. Dang, that's great. Man,
he's awesome. I like, and that's what I really like about sports. I like the characters, the oddballs. I like you said, Coach Prime. He's unique and one of a kind. I like him.
Yeah,
these guys that are just different and walk the way they want to walk.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, football starts in a couple weeks here, so we'll have to have you. I'll make sure to text you soon. I'll give you an invite.
Yeah,
I didn't know you're so butthurt.
I'm not. Yeah, I'd probably turn you down anyway. But fantasy football, I'm so happy that I did so well for you. But I haven't participated in a while, but I might this year. I don't know.
Okay, wait. Can I ask you one bonus thing before you go about that? I was going to ask Dad about this next week, and maybe I'll do it next week too. But have you heard of the Yahoo Fantasy Guillotine Leagues? Have you heard of Guillotine Leagues?
No,
okay,
never.
Well then never mind. Then so for the listeners, that's a teaser. I'm gonna try to figure out what that is, but I saw like a crazy ad about it that like Liquid Death is sponsoring it. And anyway, I don't know. They just made an ad of people playing fantasy football, and when their team lost, they got literally beheaded in the ad. And so like off camera, and they're calling them guillotine leagues, and it's like Yahoo and Liquid Death. So, but it has to do with fantasy football. So I don't know. I was just wondering if it was like a big news thing in the sports world, but it sounds like maybe not. So
I haven't heard it yet. It might be, but no, not in the channels that I listen to.
Well, okay, then I'll dig into that mystery a little bit and come back to you guys next week on that. But Keaton, thank you so much. I think you're going to conclude us on this episode. So thank you, and good luck with the rest of your day.
All right. You too.
All right. I'll catch you later.
SportSense.